So we're just departing Mungarani Homestead, or Mungarani Hotel actually. So we camped here overnight, and geez, it blew like Billio last night. It still is windy, you can probably hear it. Anyway, so we're going to wander up the Birdsville track, heading north towards Birdsville, and then swing off to the west ultimately, up the Warburton track. So Warburton Crossing, Warburton track, Rig Road, and then keep going west to Mount Dare. So that's the plan. We've got about, I don't know, 7 or 8 days to poke along. So we'll see where we get to. Hopefully the wind dies down a bit more and it'll keep the dust down. Anyway, let's enjoy. To head into the Simpson Desert via the Warburton Crossing. Got the Birdsville track along here, Birdsville that way, Mungarani, Murray back that way. So we're about to head into here, which is sort of the southern approach to the Simpson. We're going to go in via Warburton Crossing, Warburton track, K1 line and Rig Road. So we'll pop out in Dalhousie Spring. So that's the plan, and yeah, look, it's still quite windy. It's cleared right up. It's actually probably pretty good weather at the moment. No rain, it's dry enough. Not a lot of people around. I think most people have bailed. Big Red Bash or whatever was on recently is gone. It's still windy. Probably going straight into the microphone. You know, we'll have a cuppa. Drop some air out of the tyres. Flag on, set the truck up and wander into the desert. My plan is here, I'll take some air out of the tyres down to about 24 I think for this Gibber country. When we get into the sand dunes proper I'll take a bit more out, down to 20, 18, get a feel for it. But this Gibber country, it's still very firm, a lot of rock. Yeah, I'll drop it down to about 24 I think, then we'll go from there. We've been on 30 for the length of the Birdsville track, and it just rides out the corrugations beautifully, and it's as smooth as smooth. So yeah, down to 24 I think. 22. I'll do it. No, bugger it. So I'm going to go down to 20 straight away I think. Change my mind. Haven't had these tyres long, this is their first trip, so I wasn't sure how far they'd bellow out. 20s. Yeah, we'll try 20. 20. So we're off. Where are we going? Down to Warburton Crossing. I think we've got about 8 k's into the crossing, into the Simpson. Of course, probably minimum maintenance on the track from now on. Minimum meaning none. So we're into the corrugations, sand hills, backing up to get a bit of footage, a bit of filming as we went around the corner, and I was backing up straight over a bloody star picket. I just brushed it. Could have been disastrous. 2 tyres could have been bloody punctured just because I was trying to do a bit of filming. Anyway, we learned the hard way, I suppose. Star picket, wheel tracks. Me, idiot. Anyway, maybe that's today's lesson. So during my daily checks around the vehicle, I found the spare wheels rattling around a bit. Needs a bit of a tighten up, so check all the wheel nuts and that as well. But just before we come away on the trip, we put new tyres on it, so all the wheels were off, including the spare. And yeah, the spare's come a little bit loose there, so we'll tighten that up. Check all the wheel nuts, just the general going over the truck. Make sure everything is sound. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Oh, like they still got the, like the nuts are still there. Having a quick and easy awning to set up middle of the day, lunchtime, we've actually just orientate the vehicle. Got a couple of nice big doors on the canopy in the camper we can swing open and create a bit of shade. Does the job. Swing out the bench, Archie's cafe, make a bit of lunch. So something I was going to show you here, we've pulled up just in the lee of the eastern side of a dune over here, and we've got this big depression here, quite vegetated. And what we've determined is that in the making of the road, the rig road in this case, had to win some material to create the ramp, and the consequence of that is that there's these old borrow pits all along the track, depressions that obviously hold water, and as a result of that there's prolific growth, vegetation that stands out quite a lot. That the approaches to the dunes have these depressions, these borrow pits. A good spot to pull up and camp. There's no water in this one at the moment. We have seen water further back in one of these. More wildlife, more bird life. Shade, keeps the wind out, that's for sure. Consequence of development, you might say. A little oasis really. So just here we've got the cap of the Pulawana well, oil well. So our access into this country has been made possible by those that preceded us in establishing these wells, oil wells. In order for them to come in and do that, they needed to make the access roads, which is what we're riding on the back of today. So yeah, we could argue that without this exploration and infrastructure establishment, we possibly wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have access today unless we're on a camel or walking. So yeah, I think we're probably fortunate to be able to ride on the coattails of our forefathers who poked in here and explored and opened up this country for us. It's up to us now just to make sure that we look after it.
Right, I have found a mound. I was wandering up to the top of this sand dune, and I look around and look down, and I see a giant bull ant nest made out of leaves. Don't know if they're actually bull ants, but they might be. So be careful.
So this is a pretty special time of the day when you're out in the desert. You get the sun's just starting to dip down to the horizon, long shadows, colours really come out. Got a nice little fire going. We're starting to do a bit of dinner preparation. Look, it's a pretty special time of the day. There's no wind, there's only a few flies. It's not too bad at all. Temperature's quite pleasant. So yeah, perfect time of the day to be out in the desert. Perfect conditions. Exactly what we ordered. Archie's Cafe. Thought I'd give it a bit of a whirl tonight. So Mum cooked up a ripper warm beef salad. Well, the beef was cold, but that's alright. It was warm yesterday when we cooked it. So I thought, how can I top that? Warm beef salad, nice Scotch fillet, leftover pasta, leftover veggies, leftover everything really. Anyway, we're going to have a crack at something we've never done before. Come along with us. We'll see how it goes. If you see the clip, it's because it worked out alright. So, first things first. Got a bit of puff pastry. Just for the job. A couple of cooking irons. A couple of jaffle irons there. 1, 2. So, what do we want to do? We want to open them up. 1, 2. Right, first thing. Bit of butter. Grease pretty liberally, I think. Grease the irons. Like I say, never done this before, so looking forward to it. We've been talking about it for a while, drooling over it. We saw it somewhere. We didn't make this up. Someone else has done this before. We're just copying. Can't be the first for everything. We've got the coals burning down over there. Good bit of desert coals. Try and do this so we don't. Probably can't do it so I don't mangle the contents, but anyway, no, I've got to open another page. So a bit of puff pastry in this case, sheet. Righto, first thing, what do we want? Quarters. But I'm going to give them a little bit of a dust with some flour. Just might make the difference, either good or otherwise. So let's just disperse that around a bit. That's a bit of a rig road boogie there. Now, I think my squares are, oh no, by the time I've tucked that in, it's going to be almost the right size. Now I want to go to double pastry, just to give it a little bit of body. Might as well just fold that over, eh? Why did I cut it? Yeah, that works better. One down. So I'll do it different this time. I'll just go in half and then in there like that. There's that fire going. Oh, it's looking good. Now, pie fruit. Oh, hasn't got a ring pull. My sous chef let me down there. No sous here. Probably no guesses now what we're making. Right, so get some apple in there. Pineapple. Oh, might not have enough. Somebody might miss out. Have we got another tin of this?
Yep.
No one's going to miss out. We've got another tin. So, on that note, we'll load them up. Now, so we've got a bit of brown sugar. Brown sugar, which is why we need the little spoon. It's probably not going to spread around too well, but just a bit. Probably a heap of sugar in those apples already, but that one's for Mum, so we'll put a bit extra sugar in that. Now, one more little ingredient. Is it open? Probably not open. So, just a sprinkle. Ooh, get a whiff of that. Ooh, pastry, ready. 1, 2, 3. Righto, so that's 2. Well, leave it at that. We can trim that off. We'll just do that to seal them up a bit, maybe. We might have overfilled it a bit. Oh, right. So we'll whack these on.
Dripping.
Here and here. I'll do it that way. Whack them on the coals. I've got no idea how long this is going to take, so we'll come back when they're done. We'll have a look. Righto, so let's see how we went here. Burnt around the edges there. Oh, that looks alright. Oh, look at that. Now, it's about getting them out of there into the bowl. That's not bad. We could take a bit of that charcoal off there. What I might do, put it down there. Oh, look at that. Ooh. Righto. Foster Clark's been around forever. Bloody ripper too. Good fallback. Saves trying to cook everything yourself. Whoa. There you go. Rig Road apple pie and custard. Freshly baked. Can't go wrong. So when I cook, we run out of cutlery. I'll come around here, lad, and try it out. See if you can get a bit off there without it going everywhere. Don't burn yourself because it'll be bloody hot. What's your professional verdict?
Great.
All right. Do you think Mum will like it, or will I eat hers? We'll share it.
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff. There you go. Rig Road apple pie. First time we've ever tried to do it. I think we can improve on it. But for now, it's going to taste bloody ripper. Of a morning, we just have a little billy fire. Just enough to boil the billy a couple of times. One to fill the thermos, one for a cup of tea. In this case, enough to cook a few slices of toast. Fruit toast from the Farina Bakery. Bloody ripper too. Highly recommend that. Stop in there if it's open. $10 a loaf, but it's gone alright, hasn't it? Mm. So, cup of tea, little billy fire, sunrise. I think the lad's still in bed. Either that or he's gone for a walk. So, only cracker of a morning. Track's changed its character a little bit. It's more of a, feels more more like a desert crossing now rather than a road through the desert. A lot more sandy driving as we push west towards Erebina track. Whoa, wasn't my head. So yeah, it feels a bit more wild out here, less interfered with. Here's a fascinating spot. So where are we? We're just at the southern end of the Erebina track. So we've come across the rig road, we've hit the Erebina, or the Erebina's hit the rig road actually. And we continue on the rig road heading south on our path west. Anyway, but this spot here, this is a coolabah tree, and it's marked on the maps as the lone gum. Bit of a misnomer there because it's not a gum tree, it's actually coolabah, which is a box eucalypt. The bark is usually the giveaway, but anyway, coolabahs are synonymous with flood out country and water courses and that sort of area, so clearly not what we've got here. So why it's here, it's unknown. It's obviously got hold, looks like it's got a few years under its belt. So the lone gum, or the coolabah, and they were pretty important years ago, maybe they still are, but important trees for the indigenous peoples. Pretty much all the elements of the tree could be used for either shade, medicinal purposes. The bark was used, the leaves were used, the roots were used, the certain bugs and grubs that lived on the trees were good tucker or handy. So the coolabah was an important tree, and it still is. You know, the folk on the country, droving, cattle work, all that sort of stuff, the coolabahs were often offered respite, shade if nothing else, good spot to camp. So here it is in the middle of the Simpson Desert. Great spot. You don't see this sort of stuff too often. Coolabah. The tree's obviously still being used by the local inhabitants. There's, I don't know, there's probably half a dozen good sized nests in the tree. I'm not sure if you can see them at all, but good sized nests. Must get a bit crowded at certain times of the year, and offering accommodation to the birds that choose to make it their home nest. Few and far between nesting trees, I guess.